Previously, in the dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party found themselves continuing their exploration of the third level of the miniature castle. It found a great many strange rooms, a chamber marked by a wolf head where Ash's medallion always hummed, an alchemist's lab that had been raided, a room that had been blasted to smithereens by something seemingly magical but much stronger than a fireball. A throne room with a strange tongue-like rug, and an empty room that howled like a banshee every time the door was open. Eventually, the party made their way to a chamber on the east side of the third floor, a room labeled Armory. The party could see inside, and the place seemed to be empty except for a single glass case and 2 bats nesting inside. Curious as to what the armory of a wizard might hold, Ezrah made his way inside. But as soon as the sorcerer stepped into the chamber, the bats transformed into fiends and attacked. The 2 green flying creatures wielded giant axes and sharp claws smeared in ichor. To make matters worse, the fiends could teleport, a fact that Ezrah discovered after his comrades charged into the room to deal with the creatures. But, though the fiendish creatures were tough opponents, they were no match for the combined might of the party. The creatures didn't seem perturbed by this, though. In fact, they seemed rather amused and impressed by the party's prowess. All in all, the creatures seemed to enjoy fighting and then dying to the party. After the altercation and looting the armory, the party continued their exploration, finding another of Halaster's magic gates, and then continuing on back to the second level of the castle. On the second level, they found a charred skeleton in an uncharred bed, and then a mind flayer costume in a large coat closet filled with articles of clothing belonging to many different people. Then, they came to the next door. Ezrah felt the Halaster flare up with energy. The party steeled themselves and entered into a filing room? Nearly a dozen wooden filing cabinets dominated the center of this chamber, along with a door leading south. The curiosity piqued, the party began to investigate the cabinets, finding dossiers on hundreds, potentially thousands of people, each labeled with a date, name, and an identifier of either dead, potential, or lich. Some of the files were so old that they began to break down at the slightest touch. As the party combed through these records, they began to recognize names. Abigail Fyland, Eatadin Guamiel, Marta Moonshadow, Ezrah Rothanel. These names were marked potential. But Ezrah found more names he recognized. Names listed among the dead. His parents. Their dossiers were filled with strange notes. Notes with an air of familiarity and a certain sense of understanding. Understanding of how they had died. But for now, Ezrah could make no sense of it. Nor could he make sense of the notes in his own file. Burgeoning power part seemed simple enough, but securing the lock against the dragonfly meant nothing. Gibberish. But the Halaster was close. Ezrah could feel it. Bones checked the door to the south and tripped a magical rune, which, whether by intent or luck, created only a minor explosion, more of a warning shot than anything. Beyond lay a simple room, laid out almost like an interrogation chamber. Simple table, single chair. Upon the table was a piece of parchment and a small box. The parchment gave multiple warnings. Warned against going to the academy, and it warned against remaining in the miniature castle. But it also gave up that which Ezrah sought, without a fight. For within the small box was the second piece of the Halaster. But, as soon as Ezrah touched the artifact, a purple mouth appeared in the air before him, reminding him of the invitation he still held to come to the academy, to learn from the Mad Mage. At that moment, something welled up inside of Ezrah. A burgeoning power, a great storm. The Halaster appeared in his hands unbidden, the new piece snapping on to one of the hemisphere's exposed gears. A surge of electrical energy pulsed out from the orb, and Ezra's vitiligo flared, lightning tracing its edges and shining from his eyes. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.